Hello, you're listening to Questboard, a podcast where we make up random side quests. My name is Brandon.
And I'm Tiffany. Just so you know, we are not professional writers in any way, shape, or form. At least we don't claim to be. We just really like tabletop RPGs, and we do this for fun.
Just another fun in year 2.
Woo!
It's our first one into year 2.
So excited. We've been doing this for a whole year. That's just insane.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it last episode. Watch or listen to the anniversary one of us just talk about our thoughts. But I think we should just find out what we get to do this time.
Let's do it.
Got dice?
I got them. We got 54.
Feel like we've done that before.
Have we?
I feel like it.
You feel like it.
Yes, we've done that before.
Ooh.
Local tavern needs bouncer. Oh, this is for Quaff Life 3.
Yeah, Quaff Fest.
That was episode 14. So would you like to go up or down?
Let's go up.
Okay, 55 is Bard Extraordinaire, and that is episode 5. What was that?
Episode
Bard
5.
Behavior.
Oh, Bard Behavior. Yes.
Yeah, that was an interesting quest. But 56 we have not done.
Woo.
And it is First Class Mail. If you need a message that needs delivering, look no further than this First Class Mail, M-A-L-E, by the way. With reasonable fees and lightning quick delivery, it's not just the devilishly handsome good looks that makes this the best way to tell someone you care. Speak to Dorian for more information. How do we make this into a quest?
Is this like one of those things where you can send a rose to someone and they show up and like recite some silly poetry or something? It's like,
don't women like that?
Yes we do.
Okay, but how do we make this into a quest for the party?
And honestly, the name Dorian, I'm speaking on my behalf here, that's usually a name that sexy guys have, or really good looking guys. I don't know how it is. Like, he is a first class male. I'm going to say that wrong every time now. Tongue twister.
Can we make his last name Gray?
It can be.
You do know.
I know the story of Dorian
Okay.
Gray. The portrait.
What happens if he's like,
of
there's
Dorian
rumor
Gray.
that he's been like young for a very long time and he's a human?
Mm-hmm. What, he just sells his services by...
I mean, that's the best way. Sex sells. Everyone knows this.
Is he a stripper?
No, he's a first class male.
I know. It's like, okay.
It's delivering messages.
I know, but
it says it
he
in
could
the
deliver a
post.
message and strip while he delivers it. You never know. We
Are
went
you
too
in
sexy.
this kind of mood, Tiffany?
Yeah, no. I had an energy drink, so I'm just kind of in a weird headspace right now.
You're wiry.
I'm wired.
Wired for some hot guy bod.
Yeah. Anyway.
I still don't know what to do.
I know. How do we turn this into a quest for party members? Okay. Well, if they see it, the choice is always whether or not they even want to respond to these quests. This is just what they see on the quest board.
Yes.
If they respond to it, and if they would like for him to send a message, maybe, I don't know, through talking with him, they can find out he's having some trouble in his life. Maybe someone stole his portrait.
I just think it'd be super funny if like a somewhat serious party or campaign, and then they have like either a guild master or someone that they report to, and the way they send their report of like, hey, this is what we're up to, is by sending Dorian here. That's like dressed as like, you know, those firefighter calendars guys.
Oh
like,
my gosh, yes, just with the overalls, but
yeah,
no
and
undershirt.
the straps over the chest.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like someone dressed like something like that. Going to your boss to report your progress is just funny to me.
That's just how they send messages within the company itself. Like inside the building, there's just this one guy on the payroll who's the message runner.
No, it's just like completely legit. Like if it's a guild and all that stuff.
Oh,
but then
right.
just one sexy guy comes up just to report the message or report the progress.
Okay, I had a thought. So he's not the actual Dorian Gray. His name is Dorian Grayson.
Okay.
And he is immortal. He just hides it because he got, I don't know, like cursed with immortality or something. So he's just always this young, spry guy. And he's just always been there. He runs the messages. Yeah, but then how do we turn this into more of a quest?
Okay, how about we do a moral quandary kind of one?
Okay.
What happens if, let's say, this is clearly a play off of Dorian Gray?
Yeah.
I love how we're just fixating on this because of my small joke. Literary reference joke.
It's a good story.
Yeah, I really like it. I should actually read the book one of these days.
Yeah.
But what happens if it's clearly a reference and all that stuff, but what if the party finds out that he's not immortal because of a portrait or because he's like got elf blood or anything like that, but because he is a lich who disguises himself as a hot guy, like through magical means.
Okay.
And so now it's a quandary of this is a being of evil because he has killed many people just to gain this immortality.
Right.
But right now he's not doing anything that's harmful. He just wanted to do this. Or he did all these evil actions, let's say because he's very vain about his looks. And he always wanted just to keep his youth forever and always wanted to look young and beautiful. And that's the only reason he doesn't want to continue doing evil things. He just wants to display his his hotness, basically.
He wants everyone to see him.
Yes. And so he wanted to do this, but he wanted to stay young and hot forever. And that's why he did that. And so now it's just a moral quandary of, do we kill the evil thing, but he's not really doing evil anymore? He could say he did these actions like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything recent.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't killed anyone recently.
But I don't know if that's a good enough like quest.
Man, I don't know. It's like, it could be at some point, maybe like some religious figure comes into town. They're like, I sense evil. And so then the party has to choose, do they back Dorian?
Can it be an old guy that screams evil like Mermaid Man from SpongeBob?
Yes, it can.
Evil!
Evil! Yes, that's totally it. But they can sense it. They just can't sense it like directly. Like they can't tell exactly who it's coming from. They can just smell it on the air. Because he is this like, what was it, phenomenal cosmic power. Living space type of character. Like he's this super powerful lich that is delivering messages. He's not using all that power. So he's not like giving it off as much, but they can kind of just smell it on the air.
I think he's using a lot of his powers. It's just only to maintain his look.
Yeah.
Like he's not using like any necromancy powers.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure if the party sees that message, they're not going to do anything about it.
No.
This is a very just obscure thing to toss in that no one is going to pick up.
Right. But if they do, like, it would be an extremely hard perception check to notice that.
I'm thinking like if the party actually hires Dorian to do this, then we should like toss in clues and all that stuff. Just because they actually went with it, we should give them something. You know what I mean?
If any of them comment on his looks, he does. It's almost like a drug hit to him. He's just like, like he reacts to it in a physical way, because that's almost like what feeds him is people looking at him, people admiring him.
Okay, but that doesn't give away anything.
No, but it is a weird thing to do.
Well, okay, any anime with like a narcissist that likes to do that poses thing, like he could do that.
Oh my gosh.
You're about to say that guy from Hero Academia. I know you're about to say it.
I am not actually. I was going to say he poses like JoJo from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Never referenced JoJo in front of me in the entire time I've known you.
My husband watches it.
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
I've seen a little bit, but I do know about JoJo posing thanks to the internet and various memes. And I gotta say, they've got some pretty insane poses.
Oh, they do.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do this,
I was thinking it, but I didn't want to be a child.
I've already done that before on this podcast. I know I've made that joke when I've said it. But what are we going to do to give them a hint? Not the cleric thing, because I want it to be something that they only the party discovers, so that they could like either choose to keep his secret because he's harmless, or to actually kill him without like he could be very loved in this city that he's in. Let's say this is in a larger city.
Okay.
Or even the capital.
Does he like run messages across town?
He loves to run and just shirtless and all that stuff, that kind of thing, to show off his hot body.
I was thinking, you're going to hate me for this.
Oh, okay, here we go.
They meet a little old lady who's talking about that Dorian guy who's really hot and young, and she remembers when she was younger, she used to swoon over him. He's immortal. He's been around forever. People are going to notice that.
I mean, okay, that could be like the rumor going around. That's a small breadcrumb.
I mean, if he's been doing this for a
Actually,
while,
that could be something that could be said if the party ever brings up Dorian out, like they could see it and then they talk about it.
yeah.
And then that could be something that they don't even have to hire him for.
Mhm.
But I don't know how to hint at like that he's a lich.
Well,
Because that one, like, once they find out, like, oh, Dorian Gray or Grayston, or whatever last name he's
Grayson,
Grayson.
Like
I'm
Nightwing,
there's an
Dick Grayson.
oh, of course you would do that. I'm sure that hopefully someone gets the reference and be like, oh, he's immortal, all that stuff, and then it's like, haha. But then our twist is like, oh, it's not because
Okay.
he is immortal, but it's not because of that.
What is his phylactery? Is it a painting? Phylactery can be anything, right?
True.
But they would want something that can't be destroyed as easily. A painting could burn.
Well, I was gonna say he sounds like he's very vain.
Yeah.
So a painting of himself would make sense as his phylactery,
Right?
or I don't know what it's called, like the mirror that goes like mostly like your height level. That's very slim. What are those mirrors called?
A mirror.
You know what I'm talking about, where
I
you
know
can
it-
actually stand in front and you see your entire body.
Oh yeah, my sister had one. I stole it.
Oh wow!
Well,
Like, admit to a crime on our recorded podcast.
She wasn't using it. It's my sister. No, I didn't steal it.
If you want to report Tiffany to police,
No,
call
she said I could
911.
have it. But I just want to say like a full
it's-
body mirror or something like that. But yeah.
okay, that kind of mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that would be more his phylactery because of his narcissistic tendencies.
I was thinking more back on the lines of painting. You know how they can, I can't remember exactly how it was. It was like an old photography method where they developed the picture onto metal.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like a tin photo or something. Not as easily destroyed as a painting.
You're really trying to hone and like lean in on the whole
I really
Dorian
am.
Gray thing.
Yeah.
But if we do with something else that's still along those lines of vanity, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
then we could like have a sign of, oh, it's not exactly Dorian Gray. And
Right.
it might be a better, very subconscious level sign that's like there's something else going on. It's not just a Dorian Gray thing. But that might be too smart for an average D. No offense to any like players that's listening to this.
Right.
When you plan things out for D&D or any tabletop, you really dumb down like signs.
Plan it for toddlers.
Because when you go to a table, I'm guilty of this as well.
Mhm.
When you go to a table as a player, your IQ like cuts in half.
It does.
And afterwards, you realize how much of an idiot you are. But in the moment, you're an idiot.
What if it's a marble statue?
That's a fancy phylactery.
He keeps it in like a fancy garden that only he can enter.
Ah,
Secret Garden. That was a good movie. Slash book.
Secret Garden.
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
Most little girls would know about it. It's more of a movie you show little girls. Little boys would probably get bored.
All I'm thinking about is Secret Window with Johnny Depp.
Nope.
And I believe it's based off a Stephen King story about a guy who kills his wife. Spoiler for that movie.
Yeah, that's definitely not it. Secret Garden is a girl who oh man, it's been a long time since I saw it. She goes to stay with some family members and is wandering around the mansion and finds an old overgrown door covered in vines and stuff, and kind of uncovers it a little bit and goes through the door and finds a part of the garden that's never been visited before, and I think she meets a young boy there.
Okay, mine's the young boy. You're describing Pan's Labyrinth, which is a very creepy movie.
I've also seen that one. That one is terrifying.
That's
No, this
only
is
in
the
Spanish.
non-creepy version of that. There's no...
That's the adult version.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no, bad thing. Man, like I said, it has been a long time. I have fond memories of watching it. I just don't remember it.
Anyway,
Sidetrack.
this is a weird sidetrack.
So anyway, he keeps it in a hidden garden that probably has, some sort of dome over it or something. Maybe in, a big grand mansion that he's got somewhere else under a different name, possibly.
What happens if he's just dumb and he's he doesn't really have a good phylactery because he just saw very short-sighted, I want to be young and hot forever.
A little compact mirror.
I was thinking what happens if it's just a hand mirror in his back pocket the entire time?
If he falls on that and breaks it, he's dead.
Yeah, but it's that,
Yeah. Maybe. Oh, here we
that
go.
has plot armor until the party wants to destroy it.
He keeps it in a lockbox at the bank.
but he always has to check himself out. I think it's funnier if he has it in his back pocket, in which he'll pull it out in front when he meets the party just to check himself. And then the party doesn't realize that they're staring at his phylactery right there.
Okay.
You know, that kind of like reveal.
He totally keeps it in like a gun holster style thing where he has to unsnap or unbuckle part of it to actually get the mirror out because he doesn't want it to fall out. He doesn't want it to drop.
Okay, yeah, let's go with that.
He keeps a mirror in a holster like a gun.
But we still don't know how to reveal that he's a lich.
Nope.
Okay, what we could do is there could be an elf, extremely old. They live like 1,000 years old, but that's like the end of their lifespan, roughly.
Vaguely.
Homebrew it. Screw it. No one follows the actual age things about like races anyways.
It's really hard to comprehend that when you don't actually live that long.
But what happens if there's an elf that states like, who talks about a very large massacre that happened when he was very young, or like when he was an infant, like that's how he lost his parents or anything like that.
Okay.
But then I don't know how that would connect with him. How would that connect with Dorian?
Well, you can throw in, yes, and bring her up again, the old lady who remembers seeing, she probably is like, oh, it must have been his father or something. Or that Dorian boy looks just like his father did. Almost exact. Like I remember fawning over him in my youth. Or, you know, something along those lines. Maybe not father, maybe grandfather, she thinks. And she just thinks they keep taking up the same job. And we can throw in the extremely old elf. Maybe they're talking to each other or something like that. You know, it's like, oh, I remember back in my day, the world nearly ended.
The elf could just say, no, it's been him the entire time. Because I talked to him the entire time.
I remember.
He's no elven blood or anything like that.
It'd be more fun to make the elf going senile a little bit. He's a little hard to believe. He's like, I've been talking to him this whole time. It's the same guy. And the old lady's like, that can't be. He's no elf.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then how does the party come across these two? Like after they hire him for whatever they want.
That can literally just be a conversation overheard as they're walking around town. These are old people. They're talking loud because they're going deaf. It doesn't take much to overhear that. It's like, as you're walking around town, you overhear this conversation. Relay conversation.
Like, okay. I mean, sometimes that's like, oh, the game master is playing out this whole conversation. This has to be important, right?
Well, you know how in like some video games, you're just walking around and you overhear NPCs talking and you just kind of like, whatever. But every now and then, it's actually something important you should have listened to.
I feel like that's different in a tabletop RPG because the game master stops whatever's happening to then do it, instead of a video game where you're still in control of your characters to go past the NPCs.
But the game master could also throw in some other nonsensical conversations that don't actually mean anything, just to try to cover it up a little bit.
I mean, we're already setting up like unlikelies within this very unlikely thing that the party will actually do.
I know. This is if they notice this extremely hard to notice thing, we're throwing them the faintest of bones
here. We're tossing we're making an Easter egg.
Essentially, yes.
We are basically making an Easter egg.
Mm-hmm. And then giving them a moral decision of, what?
And from now on, we try tossing. Well, if we ever want to make Easter eggs in any future quest, we talk about a message delivery person, Dorian.
Oh my gosh. Dorian's here to deliver a message again.
It's like, oh, we need the party to get an important piece of information. Dorian shows up. Like, I got a message for you guys.
Oh, man.
That would be so funny.
That would be funny.
That is the tie-in for our cinematic universe, was just Dorian popping up.
Mm-hmm.
And flashing his just hot bod.
Shows up, rips off shirt. I have a message for you. Pulls message out of pocket. Why did you take your shirt off?
Why not? And then he does like the pits, like tit flex. What is it?
The peck flex.
Peck flex. That's it. The tit flex. Yes. Because males have tits too.
Oh man.
They're called mitts. Man tits.
Hmm.
He does that individual flex thing.
Yeah.
Why not?
What's the famous guy that does that all the time?
There's a guy from Full Metal Alchemist.
No. Actual human being. who like kind of created that whole
Oh,
thing.
I don't know, but I'm just
I know.
picturing General Armstrong now.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
Except for more of a slimmer kind of
The guy who,
build with like more of a...
the guy who does the Old Spice commercials.
Oh, I don't know his name. I can't remember.
I feel so bad because this guy is awesome, hilarious, and an amazing actor. And when he rips his shirt off and does that flex thing.
Oh, wait. Ted Cruz.
No, not Ted Cruz.
I believe he was a part of Old Spice, though.
Then I'm thinking of the wrong person. Okay, one moment while we both Google stuff.
Not Ted. He is a politician.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. Wrong Crews. And spelled differently. Yes, Terry Crews. He's the guy who does the pec flex. Or bounce your pecs is another way to say it.
Why are we going down this road?
Peck Popping 101 by Terry Crews on YouTube.
Oh,
America's
God.
Got Talent.
Oh, my God.
It exists. It's a thing. He's usually yelling while doing it.
I don't have the muscles to do that.
Me either. Or the muscle control to do that, honestly. It's, there's actually someone else that can do it. Josh Scherer from Mythical Kitchen can do it as well. He's a very muscular individual. Anyway.
Turns out you need muscles to actually use muscles. Who knew?
So yes, he definitely peck pops. Maybe he peck pops in beat with the message he's delivering.
I love how this is like we were a side tangent within a side tangent, because the side tangent of me saying, oh, this will be just a cinematic universe like Colin, and then we side tangent within that side tangent.
That's what we do.
To talk about Terry Crews.
Yes, but not Ted Cruz.
No. Not the Texas governor.
No. So Dorian is our message guy from here on out.
Sure. If we remember that.
Oh, I'm making a note right now. Dorian Grayson, hot message delivery guy.
But I feel like if you want to put him in this universe, this posting has to pop up before he starts appearing.
Yes.
Then afterwards, then you start noticing him everywhere.
Right.
And if you want to take him out in any future episode, it's real easy to take him out.
Yeah.
Just replace with the generic messenger.
Aw. And everyone's like, where's the hot guy? I can totally imagine people hiring him to send love letters and stuff back and forth.
We still need to talk about it, like, how do we reveal that he's a lich? Besides a conversation between two senile people.
How do you find out a lich is a lich?
I don't know. They nobly act evil and they cast necromancy powers and summon the undead. It's very stereotypical.
I know. But like, maybe, okay. In the act of delivering a message to them, he walks into an extremely dangerous situation and gets, air quotes here, killed. And then pops back up and runs away. It's like he should have died right there.
What if, this is very vague, because once, I don't know if they'll actually see him on, like, when he's traveling. What happens if he goes through areas that have undead, but undead don't attack him because he's already undead?
I mean, if they're already in an area with undead, then...
What happens if, like, after he interacts with them and does the job and all that stuff, they go out and, like, outside the city, there's, like, lands that are filled with zombies or skeletons, and while they're traveling and all that stuff, or in the middle of a fight, he runs through and says, hey guys, and then just continue running and not even caring at all, or see that the zombies are reacting at all.
Yeah, they don't react in the slightest. That's a good tell right there.
And then the entire party's like, they will have the face of Jack Sparrow when he was in the Davy Jones's locker as the ship goes by after trying to pull it. Everyone knows that meme.
Yep.
They'll all have that face as they watch Dorian run by.
It's like,
shirtless still.
Oh, of course. Always shirtless.
Not reacting, and the undead not reacting to him.
Mm-hmm. And if ever anyone casts the spell like turn undead or something along those lines, does that last very long, or is that just like a one-off thing?
It's a single action, but turn undead frightens undead creatures unless you're high enough level of cleric where then it destroys them, but it's only destroying low-level undead creatures.
Right.
He might save.
Yeah, he probably would. He'd be
He's
really
a lich,
powerful.
but he will never be destroyed from turn undead.
It might be more along the lines of him like, yeah, what you got there? Okay, see you, bye. Like, if ever that comes to be a thing, or if ever there's like a sense undead or anything along those lines, they can...
What happens if he gets startled and then it's like checks his phylactery/hand mirror? It's like, oh god, oh, I still look good. Okay.
Yeah.
And then continues on his way.
That's also his way of of making sure that it's okay is looking at it. Because that's his way of making sure
It's a
Phylactery's
double
still okay.
entendre.
Yeah.
It's seeing if his phylactery's okay and seeing if his face looks okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right.
This is only like, have you ever as a DM really like got into like the planning or like the story behind something and then the party's like,
I know, right?
That's what happened with my character reveal the first time I played with our current D&D group.
Aw.
Total side tangent because I think we're wrapping up because we got nothing else. We keep doing side tangents and that means that we can't think of anything, so we try desperately diverge.
I've got a funny moment in mind.
My first campaign that I played with our group when I joined was I played a Beastman Tiger fighter, but I talked with the DM beforehand and I was like, okay, he's human, but he's just a were-tiger and he's always in the hybrid form because he thought that if he changed to that, he could start a new life by looking completely different. And so I played a year with this group and then it's like, oh, we need a human to volunteer to do this. But everyone else was actually animals but me.
There was a character that was pretending to be human the whole time, too. And we all looked at him first, like, hey, you could do it. And he's like, I'm actually not a human.
Yeah, it was a double twist that no one in the party reacted to. It was very disappointing.
I'm sorry.
But then after it's like, oh, we have no human. I'm like, okay, he turns back into a human.
Yeah. And everyone's just like, oh, cool.
Yeah, and that was good. It's like, okay, let's do this. I'm like, the entire time, I didn't even tell the party, like out of character. I didn't say anything about this.
I had actually slightly guessed it at that point.
Because you're like, oh, we need a human. And my character is the only one that you didn't know the backstory of.
Yeah, because the character that had been disguising himself as a human that whole time, I knew the backstory of that character from talking to the player beforehand. Yeah, no one else did.
He revealed his backstory.
Well, yeah, later on.
No, I thought out of character, he talked to everyone and everyone. I knew that when I joined the group.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, what is your funny moment with Dorian?
It was him like running, to deliver a message, and he trips over something, and he's going so fast that he tumbles for a very, very long time. It's just him tumbling, and the party's standing there just like, and they're just watching him go. And he finally like pops up, pulls out the mirror, fixes his hair, and like does like that perfect like hair swoosh thing, puts the mirror away and keeps running. So like that's what he's worried about is his looks after that terrible fall. But he's fine.
That or if anyone saw him not look good.
Yeah. He like does a look around like no one saw that, right? Okay. I don't know. I just imagine him doing that fall. But when he does run to deliver messages, he could go abnormally fast.
So I think for this quest, it's very much you could just put this funny thing in your world, and I really think that it's just something that's gonna be appearing down the road. It's gonna be just Where's Waldo situations where he'll turn up randomly, and they might eventually get to know him down the road because he keeps popping up, or it's like his services has extended and all that stuff, and they just naturally see him work. And that might be a better situation where then once they find out his secrets or get intrigued enough about this guy to finally reveal his secret, then they get to decide since he is evil by definition, does he die, or because he's just doing a messenger thing and he's no longer doing evil acts, does he get to live to do what he wants, which is flaunt his handsomeness by as much people as possible?
Anyone who'll look.
So if you put this into your campaign, I'm really curious if your party hires him. Yes. I would love to hear what message or whatever that they decided. I want to hear that. Let us know on Twitter at QuestPortPod or down in the comments. Or if you want to put a job posting of your own, hopefully something easier than what we just did today.
Yeah.
Because if it's obscure ones, I'm probably going to cut those out. It's already hard enough. I don't want to deal with this more. But I think with that, I wish you all a good night.
And happy questing.